Good morning, everyone. I'm Dan Weaver, Research Coordinator for Maine Sea Grant, and I would like to welcome everyone to this webinar, in which we will be discussing a funding opportunity directed at building capacity for industry-driven innovation, diversification, and workforce development for Maine's aquaculture industry. The most important date I would like everyone to take note of is the deadline for letters of intent for projects, which is February 12th. This is the first step in the proposal process. This webinar will touch on the formation of the Maine Aquaculture Hub and describe the unique funding opportunity for industry to address and break through realized barriers to the growth of the aquaculture industry in Maine. First, a bit of background. NOAA and its Sea Grant partners are committed to advancing U.S. aquaculture in informed, sustainable, and properly regulated ways. This past year, Sea Grant awarded $16 million to advance U.S. aquaculture. Quote, with our 2019 investments, we are building on investments by Sea Grant and NOAA over the last few years to fill critical gaps in information and strengthen connectivity of science to industry, end quote, said Jonathan Pennock, the director of the National Sea Grant College Program. In summary, aquaculture is a major focus of NOAA and Sea Grant. The Maine Aquaculture Hub is one such project funded from that $16 million investment. The Hub is a collaborative project involving Maine Sea Grant, the Aquaculture Research Institute, Maine Aquaculture Innovation Center, Maine Aquaculture Association, and Coastal Enterprises Incorporated. These organizations make up the Hub's steering committee. The goal is to create a statewide transdisciplinary hub that will enhance efficiency and communication, leverage resources and expertise, and build capacity for innovation, diversification, and workforce development in Maine's aquaculture sector. The hub is intended to be responsive to local and state-level needs for Maine's aquaculture. A survey was recently conducted by the Maine Aquaculture Innovation Center and the Aquaculture Research Institute with assistance from the Maine Aquaculture Association and Maine Sea Grant. This survey targeted Maine's aquaculture community. The Hub extracted several research, development, and education priorities. Some of these priorities were prevalent in a previous year's surveys, but some are new challenges facing the industry. As expected, results of the survey revealed different research, development, and education priorities for different aquaculture sectors. We put these into four broad categories that include shellfish, sea vegetables, fin fish, and priorities pertinent to all industries. For shellfish, the survey identified seed collection strategies, nursery and hatchery technology, and shellfish disease research. For sea vegetables, there is the need for processing infrastructure and the development of new value-added products. For fin fish, topics include sea lice management, effluent treatment, and vaccine development. And finally, for all industries, priorities lie in risk management strategies, business tools, and biofouling control. Proposals that link to one of these priorities will be given more consideration. For funding, we anticipate a total of $200,000 available to fund projects. Awardees will be required to provide a one-to-one match of total funds requested. These projects can be for 1 or 2 years. Applicants must be industry members. We define industry as growers or companies that provide goods and services to growers. And finally, we encourage collaboration with other growers, industry members, or partners. Letters of intent must contain the following elements: a listing of the individuals proposing the project, a narrative about the project, and the total amount of funding requested. We ask that letters of intent do not exceed 2 typed pages, 12-point font, and 1-inch margins. I will go into each component with a little bit more detail. For team leadership, please include the names, affiliation, and contact information of the people proposing the project. In the narrative, we expect folks to clearly state and address the barrier or barriers, then describe the goals, objectives, and approach used to address the barrier. Finally, state the approximate funding to be requested. In just a few sentences, state what the money will be used for. A detailed budget at this stage is not required, but will be necessary for letters invited back to submit full proposals. And so here I will give a brief timeline of the proposal process. Letters of intent are due February 12th and must be submitted to our online proposal submission portal, EC Grant. On our website, we have provided a user guidelines for navigating the submission process. The letters of intent will be evaluated by the Hub Steering Committee. Applicants with strong proposals will be invited to submit a full proposal, which will be due March 18th. Full proposals will be evaluated by technical experts in that field. Full proposals and the reviews will then go back to the steering committee, which will meet in late April to make recommendations on which projects to fund. Applicants will be notified in mid-May. We require letters of intent be submitted through EC Grant, an online submission tool, and I will walk you through the steps for submission. First, you will navigate to the website, esg.umaine.edu, and for new users, you will be required to register or create an account. So click on the register button. After creating an account and logging in, you'll be directed to the main page and you will see the announcement for the request for proposals for the Aquaculture Hub. Click Add Proposal on the right-hand side of the page. You will then be asked to enter a project title in the pop-up box that precedes. Then you will be directed to the main screen for entering proposal materials. At this stage, only a letter of intent, so a single document, is required. Click on the letter of intent box on the left. You will then see instructions for completing the upload of the letter of intent. Please follow the instructions and upload the letter by clicking Select File. After the file has been uploaded, follow the instructions on the screen and press Save to save the uploaded letter. Finally, you will need to click Submission Preview on the left-hand side to fully submit your letter. On this page, you can review the materials you have submitted, and when you're satisfied with your submission, please click the Submit button in the upper right-hand corner. You will receive an email confirmation of your submission. We have a website. If you go to the Maine Aquaculture Hub website hosted by Sea Grant, you will find links to the Request for Proposal document guidelines and other information to help with the submission process. We will also be hosting an in-person information meeting about this RFP on February 5th from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Hutchison Center in Belfast, Maine. We hope to see you there. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to either our director, Gail Zalewski, or myself, Dan Weaver. If you have fiscal questions, please address those to Lynn Wardwell. Our contact information is provided on the slide. Thank you for your attention and good luck with your project proposal.